Is the frequency clear for a massive transmitting item?
Sure.
All right, let me give it a try. Let me see what happens here. The old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you on
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Holy cow! Holy Toledo! They are the jingle singers, Mr. Announcer, X4000 are really loud tonight. They must be very excited about the Old Tube Radio Network. I know I am. I didn't think I was going to be in the air chair tonight, and things sort of worked out. So if I look a bit more disheveled than usual, it's because I just ran in on the Express, but we are here, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's glowing in the dark. 27085 is the frequency. Channel 11 on your Old Tube Radio, or perhaps your scanner, or whatever it is, your crystal radio, whatever it is you use to pick up the Old Tube Radio Network. Also, streaming at oldtuberadio.net when you see the glowing 6L6. And I think there's a YouTube video going on as well, live or taped or whatever. I'm decked out in the old Tube Radio suit. I'm ready with the pocket protector coming up here later on, and we will get started with the shortwave listeners. And starting off, I have to get my list. I can't do this with a list. If you're playing the home game, you should be looking at the 7th of August, 2021. 00 for this week is none other than that guy who does it a good way, too. The old radio night, Mr. JT. I'm putting an X in the square. I did not have a chance to actually check into the program. Let me see if I've got some audio from old radio nights tonight. And it looks like the Courier Royale and the Palomar Skipper reverse frame on the item tonight. Let me see if I can grab a shot of that on TV. Yeah, look at that beautiful radio. That was what was happening tonight on old radio night. He's got this.
Oh, that's them on Channel 10 over there. I thought it skipped land. I was over there on the flat side. I could hear them in there, but I couldn't break them there, right?
Let's listen to that great modulation. What a beautiful radio, JT. You did it up right tonight. And we've got you checked, and I hope all went well on old radio night tonight over. And get back to, let's see, there's what I want. I want the right. I'm going to get on the right video site here, the Old Tube Radio Network. 00 is in. SWL number 1 is in. SWL number 2. I do believe I saw Mr. OBP up on the screen. He said the sunspot number is 0. What? How can that be? It's been so good. The sunspot number is 0. The MUF is around 15-meter band, and some active stations in the 12 and 10-meter bands. I have not been on the radio, so I don't know where the beacons are tonight, so we will see what happens. Those of you who have been out and about, you'll know if maybe we'll get some skip tonight. 1 is in. 2 is in. SWL number 3. I'm going to get a proxy check in for Mr. Lone Eagle over to SWL 4. And my table has so much stuff on it that I don't want. I can't even mark the items of interest. Let's go SWL 5. SWL 6. Shortwave listener number 7.
SWL 7, checking in.
All right, checking in. I checked in. How have the bands been? I just haven't been around on the air. Has everything been cool here in the Central Valley?
Actually, the bands have been pretty well crud. Not very good at all.
Yeah, and I was sort of out and about, and I drove up in the valley today, and it was just full of smoke. It was just awful looking. So I don't know what's going on. We'll talk about that. We got you checked in.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is full of smoke out here tonight. That would take us up to SWL 10 over on the recipe corner. That would be Chrissy, who is in tonight from Idaho. And what a great beacon check-in last week on the Robin tonight. So Chrissy, who's out finding the doggies, do a what is it? A whiskey double Oscar Foxtrot. We'll get back to you. Got you checked in. Over to SWL 13.
Hey Dennis, check 10 and 30 in. Good evening down there.
You know, if the net control would stop talking, he could talk worldwide, huh?
I heard you, but I didn't quite catch you. Conditions are way up and down, but just wanted to say good evening.
All right, sounding good. That's Dwayne at the microphonium up there, Mr. RFI in Idaho. We've got 10 and 30 checked in. Sounding good. It's on the archive. Listen in. We'll talk to you in a bit.
All right, conditions get any better. I got a Browning to check in. Catch you later, Dennis. Thanks.
All right, I know he wanted to check in the Browning last week, and the Robin is what made it. Nice audio, just great audio. All right, we've got 10 and 30 checked in live and direct. Oldtuberadio.net is where you can also check in on the page. We'll take a look at who's in the audience here coming up in a little bit later. I see Squamish. The Squamish boys are up in the balcony tonight as always. Go up there and say hello. Grab some of their popcorn and the barbecue. Hello to Santa Monica. I was just down the street from you enjoying the great weather out there on the South Bay. So hello to Santa Monica. OTR is looking for SWL 14.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR. Go ahead, over.
Dennis, your answer to all the smoke, that's the smoke blowing in from the Dixie Fire up north. I was in Ukiah yesterday, and it got pretty bad. As I came home, it was the same way. But check in 650 early, please. I got a grandbaby in there that's being a tyrant, so you guys all have a good one.
All right, go do the what for. Sounding good. Thanks for the info. Couldn't tell where it was coming from. The breeze was coming from the west coming in, so I figured it might have been that way, boys. You're really heavy down by Bakersfield. It seems like it actually cleared up here in the central part, but not good. All right, thank you, sir. You are checked in.
Thank you very much. Have a great one.
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network, something that's been happening here on this frequency for over 35 years, thanks to our tube radio operators and collectors and our shortwave listeners that take time out of their Saturday evenings to jump on the radio, just like they did back in the day when you know, Red Skelton and Jackie Gleason were on, and Gilligan's Island and I Love Lucy, and you'd watch television and jump over to the radio site and talk to your friends. We'll be doing that tonight. Over to, let's see, no 14, SWL 16, Charlie out there in Anoka is in the audience. Charlie tonight is sort of making sure, we had an inspection while I was gone, so you'll see him running the aisles, making sure that all the chairs are set up right and there's nothing wrong, and the little lights, in the aisle work and all that good stuff. Chuck is going to be our safety guy tonight to make sure that everybody has a great, enjoyable experience on the Old Tube Radio Network, and I know you will. It goes without saying. Over to SWL 17. And of course, the tube radios will be firing up here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. SWL 18. I got KDA from the Facebook page. SWL 19 out there in Derby, New York, by way of Belfast. We don't know how that happens, but sometimes wires get crossed. I know about that. Charlie is right here in the front tonight helping me with the cue cards. I think we got the lighting set up. I ran in so late that we just kind of had to wing it here tonight. So if there's anything kind of out of place, let me know. And of course, Charlie is going to throw. He throws little where there's some back here. He throws little pieces of paper. If you see paper coming down here, that's his way of getting my attention. Over to SWL 20. I don't know if he's listening in. Needs a proxy. Let's see. I do have the crossband. The crossband is up. Echolink. The Echolink is up. Is it up? Yeah, the Echolink is up on Node something. 354870, the Old Tube Radio Network. So I think Echolink is up tonight. Oh, speaking of up tonight, I know I'm talking too much. We'll get through the roll call here. I'm just excited to be back. We have paid the bill for August, so we have the TubeSat. Looks like TubeSat is up and running, and we are going to try and get a real live check-in from places near and far out on an actual live radio from TubeSat tonight. So I'll get Harvey proxied in. And Mr. JT, you got checked in as 00, and I know you made a comment. Oh, I think you said it's one of those nights on Old Radio Night where you put in double duty. You pulled 2 shifts on Old Radio Night tonight. So JT's going to be listening on the horizontal radio side, saying 10.5, 10.8. 10.7, 10.9, all those good 10 numbers. Let me get your 21 checked in so you can see it there. DD, press the right button. There we go. Over to SWL22. SWL23, Mitch 23 Scudo is checking in tonight, and he is going to be trying to help us with the link up. I don't know what radio he has, but it should be very interesting, and if we link it up correctly, we will actually hear the radio through the link. So good deal. Let's try SWL24. And I'm not sure if I have the echo feedback tonight. I have a delay normally, so it sounds better. I'm not hearing all that weird stuff I was hearing last week. Over to SWL25.
Hello, Dennis 25 and 74 checking in. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, 25 and 74 checking in. I hope the Wednesday night net went well. I was not around to do it. Jerry is one of the net controllers on the Wednesday night sideband net. 10 meters if you can do it. Listen in. Or if you've got the ticket, join us at 28 445 upper sideband on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time here in the Central Valley. Everybody is welcome. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
Over to page 2, and I've got the crossband up, but sometimes this guy doesn't need the crossband anymore. He's got some very fine amplitude-modulated signals. SWL27. Okay, I'm not sure where you were. Were you on the crossband? Your audio your signal is way down. Check the coax switch. Make sure that you're on FT8. I'm going to get 27 marked in, and if you have a chance, take another transmission over.
Okay. If I get on the right antenna, I was on the Octopus, but now I'm on the right antenna, number 27 on AM.
That's sounding good. You were pretty close to me. You were right in my noise levels, so I don't know what band you were on. We're probably cross-polarized, but I did hear you, and it is sounding good on amplitude modulation over.
Roger. All right, Dennis. Yeah, I got it. I got it set right now. Too many switches.
This is the too many switch frequency. I've got too many things to do. Where are we going? Thanks, Dwayne. SWL28 Gary up there in Sacramento. I wonder if you guys are getting smoke in Sacramento. Where is Gary? Hello, everyone, he says. Hi, Gary. Ready for an informative show. So am I. Who do we watch for that? An informative show with all the bells and whistles. We have bells, whistles, and honking proboscis as well tonight in the Old Tube Radio. And maybe a train whistle. Is a train whistle around? It is. I never do a good job at that, but maybe I'll try to give a toot on that. Thanks, Gary. You are looking good here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. We've got a proxy check-in for Loner SWL29. And as you just heard moments ago, SWL30 beaconing through the thing, and he wants to check in on the Browning. Dwayne, we're listening for the Browning, over. It's amazing. I don't even hear Skip, and he comes in. And he did it over the air, not even through the satellite. But we are going to try the satellite net link up tonight as well. SWL31. 31. I'm checking the big list here tonight. Up in the balcony, Dallas, Georgia, just jumping in again. Take the elevator, Dallas, Georgia. Don't take the stairs. Take the elevator. It's safer. Santa Monica's still in there. Hello, Squamish, Fresno, Murrieta, California. The unknown SWL. That's the whoever it is with the bag over their head and the rubber ducky. Shinston, West Virginia. Hello to you. It's nice to have you back. Albury, California. Moncks Corner, South Carolina, as always. Anoka, Minnesota. Wheatley, California. Temecula. Canby, Oregon. Coming up. Belfast, Hermosa Beach, Fish Camp, and a host of others on your old Tube Radio Network. Looking for SWL 32. SWL 33, that's myself, Bozo Control. The Jingle Singers, they are here. Mr. Announcer X4000, all having a good time. Let's go over to SWL 34. SWL 34 is Jimmy Fielder, Mr. Railroader. He comes in, we'll try the train whistle. Who is else? Let me take a moment here to see who's up on the big board tonight that we can get checked in as well. Coming up to all those people. Who else is in? I'm just going around. Hello, Phil. Phil R is in. 81. Hey, this is the place. Steve will be writing to you. GWD Labs is in. He knows all about Fresno. He's ready for the show. And the blinking lights here on the 532. I've got it in the AM mode, and we're doing some good 120. Where's the RA meter? I think we're doing some good asymmetrical modulation tonight. Thanks. Hello, radio testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, thanks to the asymmetrical modulation guy going on. Richard, coming up to you. CE. Yeah, that's Charlie. Checking in, looking good. Rusty is on. He says, greeting OTR people. I have enjoyed using my newly acquired Sonar FS3023 Old Tube Radio. It's alive in Arkansas for sure. Thanks for the show. You are the show. Everybody else is the show. The radios are the show. Wish we could hear Arkansas, and maybe we'll get a 3023. That's the nice one. They're all nice. Who else is in? Unicorn, Phil. Okay, and Joseph V. Hello there. Roadrunners checking in from Minville, New Jersey, across the river from Crazy Bob. Crazy Bob gave us a great jingle we use for the Bob and Steve show. I'm going to stop talking. Roll call continues. Looking for SWL 35. I'm checking my list here to see if we've got a Cheyenne Wyoming check in. Not so yet. Somebody may be there. I'll refresh the comments. Over to SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37.
37 here, Dennis, and good evening time to you. And if you would have looked out early this morning at 8 o'clock, you could look directly at the sun. It looked like a big orange, and that's where it was last night. It looked like a big orange to the west. But it's still smoky. I was going to say smoggy. Smoky here in Fresno County.
Yes, it was. I was driving up through Bakersfield. We have the window cadaver is making a live appearance tonight. So hope all is well. Those with the breathing issues are making it through, and it just made things look nasty after a nice bright Southern California. It was pretty depressing to come down here into the Central Valley with all the yuck. But I am happy now. I'm doing good because this is the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, Chris. Over to SWL 38. Shortwave listener 39. SWL 40. I think the window cadaver scared everybody away. SWL 47, Mr. Road Dog. Road Dog 507, checking in. Number 2 International Sideband 507 from the Hudson Valley of New York, saying good evening to the gang tonight. SWL 42. Shortwave listener 43, you got a proxy check-in for Crazy Eddie. Yeah, Warren, there was the window cadaver and the strangeness going on out in the flora and fauna tonight at the Old Tube Radio Network, so you just never know what's going to happen. Maybe they'll hook up a radio and we can check in the mystery guest. 43 is check-in. Let's also SWL 44. Maybe that's Peeping Tom. Did anybody ever have a handle of Peeping Tom? Let's go up to Paul, SWL 45.
Sounding good tonight, Dennis. 45.
All right, everything is not broken. That does not to say it will stay very well, but and my lights are doing strange. I think we have poltergeists in the room tonight. Got you checked in. Hello to you and Kelly up there.
Okay, thank you.
SWL 46. SWL 47.
Well, good evening from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47, and I think your poltergeist, it might have been from the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, and I have to tell you, incidentally, that checking in at least for roll call last week from inside of Disneyland while just kind of sitting down by the little churro vendor right in front of the Haunted Mansion. That was really cool just sitting there and listening to Harvey, talking about his radio and then being able to chat with you. So that was awesome. But, I think they say that when you're on the Haunted Mansion, towards the end of the ride, you're in that doom buggy and that I guess that spirit kind of follows you home. So I don't know, maybe it hitchhikes home. So I don't know, maybe it did come home and it's playing with your lights or whatever you were talking about, peeking in your window. Who knows?
Yeah, well, as long as it wants to check in and do nice things, we will see. You're sounding good. I was down near the happiest place on earth, but I was definitely not at the happiest place on earth. But things are good. We're back in the air chair here through the smoke. We'll talk more about CW stuff. I got your email, but you are sounding good, and the Old Tube Radio Network is here on a Saturday evening the way it should be. Over.
Oh, thanks. I'd love to chat your off on that, or send it to you over code. I can do that. But anyways, that's a topic for some other time.
Yeah, we used to do code practice here on 11 meter, get on a frequency and do it. It works out well. We are the Old Tube Radio Network here in Central California, 27085, the Channel 11 frequency. We are heading through the SWL roll call, and we will be talking about, with, and for, and on those classic tube radios from about 1958 to 1978, coming up here shortly on the net. Over to SWL 48. SWL 49, SWL 50.
Fairly to launch there. 50 check-in.
There, we are following along online, so forgive me if there's any delay checking in here. Again, just wishing all you guys a wonderful evening, and as always, we very much appreciate the check-in there, Dennis. You guys take care.
Sounding good. That's Smitty at the microphone. Sweet Country Mama not far behind. SWL 49 from the online stream. Sounding good, Brian. We got you checked in. Also, SWL 5050. We've also got you checked in. Thanks, Mark. Over to 305. SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
51 out around Sangertown. Heading into Midtown on my very small antenna. Sounding good tonight. Thanks, Dave. And yeah, K5STM. And you can use those phonetics, too. See what happens. Try that in a contest. Instead of Sugar Tango Mike. Try those phonetics. See what happens in the next contest. I would love that. SWL 52. Shortwave listener 53.
Hello, Dennis. How you doing? You got 53, the legend on the east side checking in.
You can't do old tube radio on a Saturday evening unless you have a few of the legends checked in, and Mr. Bel Air is one of them. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Also, let me backtrack. SWL 35 from Cool Cheyenne. That is Mr. Bill from Red Monkey Communications. Someone even asked me today about Red Monkey Communications, and I said they are doing their thing out in Cheyenne, up in the mobile office and everything, making people happy. I know if it wasn't for Mr. Bill and Red Monkey, we would not have most of the radios, a lot of the radios that you hear checking in tonight. Over to page 3 we go, and we are getting the cosmic check in for 54, Mr. Boardjammer. SWL 55. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. This is SWL 56, just for kicks.
All right. I was kicking the X in the square. Looking good. Thanks, Phil. SWL 57. That's Brown Dog Audio. Oh, also, Mr. Railroader, Jimmy Fielder. Let's go back up to SWL 34. Someone asked about the whistle. I have it here. I'm just not good at this. This is like any instrument. You've got to do a little bit of practice. Let me. All right, here we go. I think we're ready. A little toot and SWL 34, Mr. Railroader. We'll do better, but that's the way you got to check in 34. You know, if it wasn't for 34, I think half of Facebook would go away. He's a busy guy. Thanks, Jimmy. Directing that roll call. Back to page 3, SWL 57. SWL 58. I'm going to get Jeremy checked in. I just haven't been keeping up on the Ditchbank sideband net and what's going on with that, so we'll get you checked in. SWL 59. SWL 60.
Hey, Dennis. Evening time to you. Evening time to all the fellas. SWL 60. Checking in.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe, Mr. Hustler, and the gang over there. Sounding good. Got you checked in. SWL 61. Boy, the band just got quiet. I may have to open my RF gain up a little bit. Thank you, Chrissy. I'm not dressed like an engineer. Maybe that's what I need, a little conductor's hat or something. I'd blow that whistle better. SWL 62. Shortwave listener 63. Was Butterbean in an old radio night? I'll get North Georgia checked in tonight, Mr. Butterbean. SWL 64. SWL 65. Hey, trying on the crossband here. I get you with a little bit of distortion. KB6 GFD. All right, thanks for the check-in on the FM mode. We'll get you in on 111. Thanks, KB6 GFD. All right, taking a crossband check-in from parts near and far out. SWL 66. SWL 67. Bill up in Canby, he is out. He was hanging around here in the front row helping with the cables tonight, as always. Let's see what's happening in Canby, Oregon, where I believe there's no smoke. It is currently 72 degrees, mostly cloudy out there in Clackamas County. Thank you, Bill. We got you checked in. Over to SWL 68. Shortwave listener 69, that's Ken in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I do believe Kenny was watching the video live tonight. You're staying up late, Ken. I know you tune it in on the replay, but we'll say hello now, and when you watch the replay, you can watch us again from Tulsa, Oklahoma. We missed you out here. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Up to Mark, SWL 70.
Right here, Dennis. How you doing? It must be summertime, not just because it's hot, but the whole state's burning down again, Dennis. How you doing?
Yeah, it is. It was horrible, yucky, smoky when we came back into the valley again. It is August. Fire season isn't supposed to be starting soon. I hope there's nothing up your way, and you're sounding good here in the flatlands.
Nothing yet. Fingers crossed. Anyhow, good hearing you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for checking in. Yeah, it's summer. That's why I dress up like this. And that's why I wear the Sears Sucker suit and a tie on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, Mark. We got you checked in. And let's see. Canby, Oregon was looking good. Let's head over to Dallas, Georgia, out in Foreland. Stan, who is listening in tonight. Looking good, Stan. I have not been on the radio at all week. I know there's probably some contests going on, so maybe you're out there giving some points. Looking good here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 72. SWL 73. Shortwave listener 74 checked in just moments ago on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 75. SWL 77. Get a proxy check in for the Tower of Power. And down to Wild Wildemar in Southern California, where everything is always nice. I do believe Richard is listening in to us on the video side, and I don't know, Richard, what's 40 meters like? I think it's too late. Let me kick in. Let me kick in the HF radio. That's 40 Miatros for you. The signals are down. Hey, there you go.
I was surprised I'm picking up as many stations on 40 meters.
7268.5.
Well, very good, and thank you for the nice signal report. Can you send me your name again, your name?
Yes, I'm sorry. The name is Dave, Delta Alpha Victor Echo.
All right, well, they're talking on 40, so who knows? Anyway, Richard, we've got you checked in. Over to SWL 79. SWL 80. And Richard says 40 is very quiet. Well, I found somebody. They're at, where were we at? 7268. Nothing on SWL 80. Hello to Rick, who's 655 listening in from the Carolinas, waving from the mobile. Hello to Warren Scott. Round Dog Audio is on. You know, before we turn the page, let me head over to the Jingle Singers and see what's going on with the Bob and Steve show tonight. What great and wondrous things do they have set up for us tonight over in the green room?
27.0850 TR Channel 11.
Channel 11 OTR, what is happening tonight? It looks like the Jingle Singers are live tonight. Yes, they are. You heard them moments ago from the green room. They've selected a contractor for the pool. That 70 by 120 pool. We're going to have to move the tower to accommodate this Olympic-sized pool. They got their permit approved from the city of Fresno. It's a lot easier to get a pool approved than a 55-foot tower. They said no problem. They said they know me, and the work will begin on Monday. I'm going to have to move the Buick, I think, for this. Equipment and big earth-moving machines are here and ready to go. My brother is here visiting. He knows how to drive. He knows how to do a backhoe, so maybe we can get started earlier. They had to move the red limo, and it is very large, so I'm not sure where did you put it to make room for everything. I think I saw it around the back 40 here. Tonight they hired Eddie from Christmas Vacation to put in the pool. They're going to make me watch the movie to find out why that may or may not be a bad thing. But when Eddie shows up, I'll show him where the pool goes. It's sitting next to the garage for the construction trailer. I wondered what that was. I thought maybe some people had moved in that I didn't know about. But okay, that's a construction thing. That's great. At the bar tonight, for those interested, are what will be Fresno's finest cracked pepper bistro from North Palm Avenue. See, that's all. I'm not even allowed in that section of town to go to those nice restaurants. So I will enjoy that tonight. And the wine is on Bob and Steve. Thanks, gang. You always do us upright here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
Heading over to page 4, if you're playing the home game, looking for SWL 81. Steve Areno, Mr. Unicorn, is online tonight from the very secret location. Not here in the Central Valley. So, Mr. Unicorn, I see you. I see your check-in. We will get you checked in. Hope all is well, and I will send you. I have kind of been out and about, and I've been remiss. I will send you the info for the tubes. I'm sorry, for the crystals. I will send you that to info, and we definitely appreciate it. Also, Mr. Brown Dog Audio requesting a late check-in. Well, as long as you see the 606, the glowing 606 at oldtuberadio.net, you know that you are not late checking into the Old Tube Radio Network. So 57, we've got you checked in. And if you look over my right shoulder, I will make it official so you see that you get checked in and all is good. The Old Tube Radio Network, don't go away. The Tube Radios will be checking in moments. Looking for SWL 82.
82, checking in from the Ditch Banks of Iowa. Good evening, all.
Good evening, 82. I will need an update. I was sort of, out. You know how you did the other week where you can't quite make it back into the air chair. Well, I did make it back into the air chair, but the entire week I've been out and about. So how are things on the Ditch Banks sideband net last night? Over.
Well, it's growing. We have another new check-in. I think we're up to 60, and we had Tracy from Millerton Lake. So it is growing, and yes, I have to get you an update there and all that. So yeah, it was good. Great show, and thanks for all that you do here on Saturday night.
Contact.
And the contact, go ahead.
I'm just checking to see if I can get a late check-in from the Ditch Banks net from yesterday.
All right, well, we'll mark you down there. Thanks for checking in, Mark. Better late than never.
All right, 761. Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Dennis. Back to net.
All right, I'm glad that the Old Tube Radio Network could be the carrier of not only check-ins for this net, but the Ditch Banks sideband net that happens Friday evenings. Channel 36, lower sideband, that's 27,365 for those of you who have the fancy style radios. Not like I do. I have a little post-it notes, and that's the only way I can tell the frequency. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Everyone is welcome. If the skip runs in, there is a visitor's check-in, and the voice you just heard, Mr. Ron, is the net control on that. So, as they say on the radio, join us, won't you? SWL 83.
All right, thanks, Dennis. And there is rumor that we might have, not me, but somebody else might start a FM net, maybe on Channel 30. Because I hear that they're going to let the CB radios have FM.
What you started, Ron?
About that, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I think the rumor is true. The FCC is allowing FM as a accepted mode, a type accepted mode of operation. I think, was it Uniden and one of the other CB manufacturers lobbied them to do that. So there will be some caveats as to type acceptance and bandwidth, but that will be happening. I don't know if there will be some gentleman's agreement as to where one might go, but Channel 30 sounds good, and FM at the beginning of cycle 25 here could be interesting. So good stuff. Got you checked in. Thanks. SWL 83. SWL 84. Get a proxy check-in for Jerry, Cheerios Kid. And SWL 85, I have been just relayed some very sad news, and I want to take a moment of silence here for John in Reedley, who is now a silent key. Long before he should be a silent key, I might add. So a moment of silence here on the Old Tube Radio Network for a long-time station, John out there in Reedley, always putting in a good signal here on the Old Tube Radio Network. You will be missed.
You mean 621?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And that was early Friday morning. So very, very sorry to hear that, and we enjoyed John's check-in. He always managed to put a good signal in from Reedley, which is far away, despite my best efforts not to hear him on my less than stellar antenna. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, Central California, where real radios do glow in the dark. That will be happening shortly. I'm going to get Paula the Mountain Maid, SWL 86, Tandy Girl, SWL 87, and Shauna Snowy Owl, SWL 88, checked in via proxy, SWL 89. SWL 90. SWL 91, Felix, who is staying up late out in the Bronx. And there he is right on my screen, Mr. Felix. I know I have a photo. Someone has to give me the photo. I've got the Felix mobile that drives around here, Fresno, with a picture of Felix the cat. It's about a 1965 VW Bug, totally yellow. I will put that up when I get the picture next time Felix checks in. We're looking for SWL 60. SWL 92. SWL 93's got a proxy check in. SWL 95. SWL 96, Prune Picker out in Kerman. Can you hear me? Over, over.
Yes, sir, Dennis. I can hear you this evening, and this is old 96 checking in.
Well, you sound great. As we used to say on CB, you are 10-2, wall-to-wall, treetop tall from Kerman, California. Thanks for pulling me out of the mud, and we've got you checked in over, over. Dennis, I always try to extra effort to check in someone named Dennis, and Dennis has been hanging around the Old Tube Radio Network for almost as long as we've been out here, I think. Thanks, 96.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dennis. I like that, too. I like talking to people by the name of Dennis. I just know they can't be all bad with their name Dennis.
You got that right, and they aren't making many of us anymore, so we gotta keep going. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 97. Boston 97. Oh, Adam, thanks. Adam chimed in and said it was Cobra and President, the two companies that petitioned the FCC to get type accepted for FM. So there is a little bit of reason for why they wanted to do that, want to sell some radios, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Also, I want to say hello to Keith. Sierra Radio out there in Foreland from Rocky Mountain, Virginia, was listening in today. You know, we have the Echolink link up. Let me just take a pause here before we go. Is there anybody that wants to chime in? Let me take an Echolink transmission if I can figure out how to do that. Is there anyone that wants to chime in on the Echolink link here on the old Tube Radio network for a quick check-in over KB6G update? I never know what to expect. We're going to have the Tube satellite up beaconing tonight. We've got Echolink link at node. The node I can never remember, but it's up there. 354870. The old Tube Radio Network direct-to-net radio tubes are coming up. SWL 98. Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Dennis. Brought to you by RADIO. This is SWL 98, and I do have two questions.
Hey, Tracy, you're sounding good. Much better in the past. I haven't changed a thing on my end, so whatever you have done it well. And hopefully you will find the magic way to listen into those archives.
Yeah, well, that's one of the questions. Not really about the archive, but I have tried 3 different operating systems, and I'm not having any luck. I was basically trying to hear that one from the dispatch net. But anyway, one of my questions was, can you switch the sideband just for one transmission so I can hear what I sound like on sideband?
Yeah, you know, actually you are transmitting double sideband right now, upper and lower. So here's what I'm going to do. Take another AM transmission. I'm assuming you're going to watch the playback. So take another AM transmission and give it about 10 seconds. And what I will do is I will switch into your upper sideband and your lower sideband. I'll have to zero beat you first. I know, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I will zero beat your frequency and then take another transmission on sideband. Oh, which sideband will you be selecting? Over.
Well, I was going to go with the lower sideband.
Okay, you will be, for the SWLs following along here, you will be selecting lower sideband. So first take a transmission in AM where you are actually transmitting both sidebands, and then take a transmission on the lower sideband, and then I will tune you in on lower sideband. So when you hear the playback, you can hear if indeed there is any difference at all. The old Tube Radio Network, we are listening for your AM transmission. Go ahead.
This is the lower sideband transmission from SWL 98 in Millington Lake. I'm about 300 feet above Millington Lake. This is actually a different spot than I had last time, so I think it's a better spot.
Okay, and those watching the video can see me pressing all sorts of buttons to get back into the right mode. Can you hear me? Over.
Yes, I can, and I do have one other question.
Okay, let me explain what I did first. We were listening to the AM upper and lower sideband. Your frequency is very close to being right on where it needs to go. You will notice when you listen to the playback that your audio is quite low between the two sidebands. Then you unkey, you take a transmission to lower sideband, and lo and behold, without me touching any of the controls, you will notice that your volume is quite a bit louder, and that is your sideband working. So your sideband modulation is good. That's usually an indication that you may be a bit undermodulated on the AM side when your sideband modulation is that much more. But it works both ways. Back to you.
Okay, Dennis. Well, thank you very much for that. And the sideband puts out quite a bit more power, peak envelope power. And anyway, my other question was that. I appreciate you doing that. Anyway, the next question was, can I check in my O2 radio by proxy? In other words, I don't have any way to talk on it at this period of my life. It's in the closet, and I can't get out from my PTH. But and so I was wondering if I could just talk about it during the check-in.
Yeah, that is fine. We should have another page that's radios that we want to check in but can't because either they don't work or they're stuck in the closet somewhere. So yeah, jump in during a spot when we're not busy on the tube radio side and let us know. I'm curious to know what you've got. I've got a lot of radios that I don't check in, mainly because it's difficult. But behind me here, the E.F. Johnson Messenger, which is the one glowing, the Robin T23B, and a host of others. So, a good deal. We will listen for you during the Tube Radio Net time. Over.
Okay, it may not be tonight, but one of these times I will jump in there, and I thank you, and good evening and weekend to you and everyone on the net. Over.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, anytime you can check in. Everyone is welcome on the Old Tube Radio Network. Did we say that at the beginning, that it is not a club, it's just an association of people. There's no secret handshake. You don't have to wear a funny hat. There are no dues. You don't have to have any numbers. You don't have to have ever talked on a tube radio. Just key up and say hello, and we'll chat with you and make comments. oldtuberadio.net. The YouTube video, the Old Tube Radio Network, over 36 years. I don't know how this happens, but that's the way it goes. Looking for Radio 90 or SWL 99 over. And over to SWL 100. That is Tony, digital listener Tony in McClellanville, South Carolina. I want to say hello to Joy L. listening in. Van Man from Kentucky saying hello to everybody. Working on his 6-element beam tonight. Is that horizontal, vertical, gizmachi? What is it? The long john? 6 elements is a lot of elements on 11 meters. That's a big boom length. That's definitely a skip talker. Looking for SWL 103. Shortwave listener 109. SWL 110. SWL 111, Robert in Reedley. Some of you may have heard him check in on the crossband earlier, sounding good on the FM side. SWL 113. Shortwave listener 114.
114, checking in.
Loud and clear as always, Rick Shaw. Thanks for checking in the Old Tube Radio Network tonight.
Thank you for the check-in.
Over to SWL 128. I'm trying to refresh my page here because John usually checks in over at oldtuberadio.net. Looking for SWL 131. Shortwave listener 133.
SWL 133.
SWL 133, hello, Dave. Out there in northwest Fresno, beaconing in quite nicely to the old Tube Radio Network tonight. Thanks. SWL 135. I've got a note to check in 135, and I will do that. SWL 137. SWL 145. Hey, Tony, you've got a good signal here into net control. Check the audio. Check the wiggle meters. I did not get any audio at all out of that. Over. Tony is checking the connections. I want to say hello to Mountain View, the Google bots. The Google bots are watching the old Tube Radio Network. Everybody say hello to the Google bots in Mountain View. I know why they did. Also, up in the balcony tonight, Blackpool. From up, down the smoke below, up at Blackpool tonight. We've got the smoke here in the Central Valley. You guys have got nothing on us tonight. Up there in Blackpool tonight. Over to SWL. Tony, did you get the audio back? 145. Okay, good signal. I know it's you. Just no audio. We'll be here tonight if we want to check things out. See what's going on with the audio, but good signal. SWL 147, that is Mr. Neil Finn up in Kakalaki, up there in Fayetteville. What's going on tonight? He says, checking in hot, humid weather and some conditions. Good when it's good, but kind of spotty. Yeah, we're still in the beginning of cycle 25, but it will get better. Okay, speaking of 6-element beams and putting some metal in the air, let's go over to SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to the net. 188 Snowbeast checking in.
All right, Bobby, sounding good as always on the old Tube Radio Network here tonight. Got you checked in?
10-4, thank you. Good evening time.
Over to shortwave listener 195. And hi, Jim. I think that was you. A little bit of oscillation in the audio, but I do hear you. Take another transmission. Yeah, there you go. It's working now. Over. Okay. Well, these things can be tricky. I put this big foam deal on mine, so I know where the front is. But if it wasn't there, I don't want to say what would happen. Thanks for checking in. And over to, I wonder if, we were hearing Friant pretty good. Milliton was coming in. How about SWL 226? And I'll get Jeff checked in. I'll get Jeff a proxy check-in tonight. Anybody else for the old Tube Radio Network shortwave listener check-ins? All right, I'm going to jump out of the air chair for a minute or two, do that wacky running around that I do to get set up for the tube radios glowing in the dark. That is the reason that we are here tonight, to make sure that the tube radios have a forum in which to transmit, like the automobiles, the classic fins and chrome, when they hang out at the hamburger stand on Friday evenings. Well, we hang out on the air on Saturday evenings here with our tubes and chrome and fins on the old Tube Radio Network. Back in a moment with your tube radios.
OTR.
All right, sorry about that. I didn't fall in the swimming pool, but I will be right back. Taking a little bit longer than I thought here, changing over to the tube radios. Back in a moment, OTR. All right, let's give this a try. Your old tube radio network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old tube radio network.
You know, they're applauding for you. They're applauding for your tube radios that will be beaconing across the airwaves shortly, and all your great efforts going on here for the last 36 years to keep these radios on the air. Just trying to find the right stuff. I've been running around here like a madman trying to get ready for the tube radios tonight, and I think I am ready. So without... Oh, you know what I have to do? Without any further ado... Where is it? I have the... I won't forget tonight. I have the Pocket Protector pen tonight. Old Tube Radio Network tonight, sponsored by Sylvania and Rogers TV at 216 North 14th Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. There it is tonight, and there's a phone number there. I don't think that's a valid phone number, but Rogers TV in the 701 area code. Let me put that in. I feel like an official net control radio operator now. OTR standing by and listening for your check-ins.
37 check, Colin.
And 37, go ahead, step up into the air chair at 9:11. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to work late tonight.
I'm sorry for you, Dennis. I'm not laughing at you, but yeah, you are running late. But anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in this old tube radio if that's all right with you, sir.
It is all right with me. That is what I don't get paid to do. Now, if I got paid, that's what I would do. And I do it anyway, so go ahead.
Well, you'd be one rich puppy by now after all these years. Anyway, I would like to check in my general radio telephone, the Super MC11. This is the 24-channel version of this, and we are running here with the original, I believe it is the original, handheld stock microphone. Over.
Original radio, stock microphonium. You can see it if you're looking at oldtuberadio.net. We got a photo up there, and I'm going to see if I can get the right screenshot. Where did it go? Here it is. And it's also showing up in this photo here, the what do they call it? A CM3. Looks like a little metal teardrop there. Go ahead.
Well, mine's a black one.
Yeah, the one we're showing here, it's hard to tell. It looks like it's dark. So yeah, black, dark green. It's dark, but it sure works well.
Yeah, and then on the mouthpiece here, about you speak into it, it's got like a gold, sparkly cloth behind it. You can see through the grooves.
Yeah, we can actually see that. They've got the padding in there to, I don't know if that's a ceramic element, a carbon element, but to kind of give a little bit of wind resistance and other things on the item of interest. It works well. The radio's great. The 24-channel, says it right there under Super MC11A for those back in the day that liked to do the Civil Air Patrol. Now, we have never ran a net on the Civil Air Patrol frequency, probably for a very good reason.
One of these days, I'm going to check it out and make sure I have it. I'm going to go, I don't know if that showed up on my Kenwood or not. Would it?
Let's see. If you have a general coverage receiver on your Kenwood, which I think you might, then you would just dial through, and it's 620. It's in the 26 megahertz range. So yeah, you could probably, take. Let's see. What would you do? Make sure your 940 is not on an antenna. Put through a dummy load or something. Take the antenna off, or have the antenna switch not on it, and then key up on the general radio telephone and dial around 26 to 27 megahertz. You'll hear yourself.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. All right, Dennis, I'm gonna have to try that out. See what I can find here one of these days here shortly, I think, before I get too much older. All right, Dennis, thank you for being there. And hey, we do have another breaker, so I'm gonna be out of here and turn this one off, and I'll be on another radio listening.
All right, and you know what, Chris? You're already older than when you even said that, but you sound marvelous, so you're looking good. All right, thanks for radio number 1. Where did it go? I've got this REA meter on there. Where did the radio go? There it is, the general radio telephone right there, Super MC11A from beautiful downtown Burbank. I was just hop, skipping, and jumping away from Burbank earlier today, as a matter of fact. Let's go over to the SWL page, because I do hear an item of interest. Hello, Dino. Hey, no problem. The tube is still glowing on the old Tube Radio Network, and we will get the inimitable SWL61 checked in. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll get it up on the big page as well. You're listening to the old Tube Radio Network. We're listening for radio number 2.
Number 7.
All right, we've got 2 stations. Number 7, hang on one moment. And who was the other station for the old Tube Radio Network?
45.
All right, Paul, I think I heard you first. Ed, he's already heading down. Ed is heading down into the green room. The bar was open. What is in the bar tonight? The jingle, Steve, Bob and Steve said it's tonight. The wine is on Bob and Steve, and there's also other beverages coming up from the Cracked Pepper Bistro on North Palm Avenue. All right, Ed, we'll see you in a moment. Stepping up in the air chair at 9:16. Hello, Paul. Hope you can hear me up there in North Fork.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Whether you can hear me or not, this radio's not doing what it wants to be doing, or sure should be doing. It's my general radio telephone, MC5.
You know, it sounds good. Don't fault the radio on transmit side. On the transmit side, and that sounds really good. I've got the S meter across the bottom of the screen, and it looks like we're getting some good signal. I'm going to pop in a picture, a video. It says General Radio Telephone MC5 photo from the collection of Paul. May or may not be the one you're using. I like the waffle-style microphonium. Take a transmission over.
Yeah, that's the old style. It kind of went away, or we're going to say away, kind of got real dim or something. So I had to put on this other one. I put on one of my old favorites, MCM plus 2U. There's no what I'm talking about. And it's amplified too. Back to you.
It's a good choice. It's got good audio. It's not. I don't think there's any impedance matching for messing up the fidelity at all. And it's working quite nicely. The it's not super, but it sounds super. It's the General Radio Telephone MC, Master Control number 5, a very popular radio for General Radio Telephone, late 62, 1963. They sold a lot of those. Back to you.
Yeah, 1962. Anyway, this right here has got, as you know, I'll show you, kind of a laughing situation, but I enjoy it. I think it's working.
It is working. It is the Q-Bird. It has been a long time. It has been a long time since we've had a Q-Bird beaconing on the air here on the old Tube Radio Network tonight. So we'll make sure we do that a time or two more before you sign off. It actually has a good rhythm to it. Over.
This is kind of slow, I think, compared to Jerry's in it.
Yeah, it's in the middle. I think Eric used to have one that was really slow. Jerry's is probably more of the sound that would be typical out of the box, and yours is somewhere in between. And I think Harvey said there is a way to adjust those by moving some component or something. But I wouldn't worry. Yours is sounding good. Over.
Yeah, no, I won't mess with it as long as it's working. That just doesn't pay, I guarantee you. Well, that's about it. This radio was really wanted, and it was advertised real heavily, and they sold a lot of them. Then they went to the MC6 after this without the tone on it. They didn't sell very many of those at all. So the tone had a big deal on the selling point and everything. And I enjoy it. It's not the radio that the MC11 is, but you know what? It's working for a 1962-year radio. Back to you.
Absolutely. And it was, I don't know if it was the first, but it was certainly the last general radio telephone that had the tone call or the Q-Bird. Tone signal is actually the name. There's the, I'll give a close-up shot. It's the last one that had the tone signal because the FCC decided that there needed to be a bullhorn instead of the tone signal. I don't think they liked the built-in tone calls. A lot of the other radios had the tone calls, or the selectable tone calls, as a separate unit, or a separate piece that you bought. I don't know the exact reasoning behind that, but I'm thinking maybe that was it, just because it was built into the radio. Radio number 2, we're talking to Paul on the General Radio Telephone MC5 from 1962. It sold for just under $200 at most places, would run 6-volt, 12-volt DC, and 115-volt AC, and does all that with 7 tubes. Back to you.
Okay, well, you about covered it. So proud to get it checked in. I may not have another one. The one I was going to check in decided didn't want to cooperate, so we'll see. Maybe. Thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
Glad to check it in. And the Old Tube Radio Network. That's what we do. In fact, tonight we've got Ed is stepping up to the air chair there. Thanks, Paul. And tonight, maybe after this next check-in, I'm going to fire up, see if I can get the okay. It is past, okay, it's past 9 o'clock. Then we bought an hour of time up on the bird tonight, and see if we can't get up on the TubeSat tonight and check in, get a radio check-in from far out. We'll be trying that here after our next item of interest. So, the General Radio Telephone MC5. Are you still there, Paul? All right, he probably changed radios. I was going to have him give another blast on the Q-Bird. Let's go over to Mr. Ed. Hello, Ed. Over.
And good evening to Old Tube Radio Control, and of course, this is the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Golden Eagle D104.
Well, it is fired up good tonight. It's got some nice, crisp, clear audio. Looking for a picture of the Mark III. Okay, here's one. It says an advertisement. Well, I don't know if that's an advertisement. Let me bring it up there. A good shot of this radio. Also got a VFO. I know you don't have the VFO with yours, but it's got the transmitter, receiver, and it takes up a good almost 3 feet of radio table real estate. Back to you.
Yes, it does definitely take up some real estate there. It's the biggest radio I've got. Well, 2-piece radio. One piece, there's one that's larger, but yeah, the 2 pieces are pretty large. But good sounding radio, great receive, so cannot complain.
Cannot complain at all. In fact, if conditions permit, and you may have heard Dwayne, as always, kind of floating into the Central Valley on his radio, saying that if the conditions are open, we will be getting a General Radio Telephone in tonight from the sources of RFI in Idaho. But so far, we just had that opening. Just had that short opening. So we'll see what happens. A Q-Bird to an Eagle Bird. Back to you.
There we go. Yep, the short ping tonight did figure we'd save your ears from the long stream.
No, I like that ping. It's got a good note. It's got a good note, and yeah, for the net control wearing the headphoniums here, sometimes that's a good thing. But that's sort of the hazard pay. You know, sometimes when you take these roles, these jobs, there is a certain hazard built in, and I guess the Screaming Eagle is one of them. But thanks for keeping yours in a nice, compact form, although they can get wild, and that's the fun of the radio. Radio number 3, Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, back to you for a transmission.
All right, thanks, Dennis, and thanks for picking me up, and I'll be back with another Tube Radio.
All right, and you've already got the SWLs grabbing the screen, saying they want one. I don't have 3D radio here. The Old Tube Radio Network. Let me go over to the Jingle Singers. I'm also going to use that little time to fire up the TubeSat tonight, and we'll see if we can't get a radio. So then I'm gonna look at TubeSat. We may or may not get something on there, but here we go. First, let's go over to. Where are we going? We're going over to the Jingle Singers, if I can get their attention. They're excited. They're excited about the link up here tonight.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
Yes, the station for you is OTR, the old tube radio network. Real radio is going in the dark. Firing up the TubeSat, trying to get it linked up, get it tuned in here, and you can hear it in the background. All right, we have the TubeSat up and running. I'm going to bring the controls up to the 11-meter band, and in theory it's supposed to search out the strongest signal and lock into it. I guess it knows when it's a tube or a transistor, so listening in, locking in to the TubeSat, and then the noise you hear, the sound you hear is that of the TubeSat receiver tonight. We are listening here on the old Tube Radio Network. Hello, come in. I'm not even trying to beacon this thing.
Break OTR.
Aha! We may have an item of interest. The break OTR. We are listening. We are listening on the TubeSat. Go ahead. Over. And there is quite a bit of delay as you go up and back and down again.
Good evening, Dennis. This is Oscar Tango Romeo 23 Skidoo, transmitting via tube satellite to Fresno from the coast of California. Over.
The coast of California is sounding good. A bit of a delay tonight, but we expected that. Their audio and radio sounds good. I hope you will get a chance to listen in to the replay. We're beaconing in on an 11-meter frequency. We've got the scope. The audio looks good. Go ahead and take another transmission. 23 Skidoo is at the controls. Go ahead and take another transmission. Tell us what you are on tonight. We are hearing it quite well. Over. OVGR listening. Beaconing on TubeSat here tonight. The old Tube Radio Network.
Well, thank you, Dennis. This is my 1975 Tram Corporation D201 hand-wired radio built in Winnisquam, New Hampshire. Over.
Okay, marking down the Tram D201 hand-wired. That means it's one of the earlier ones. Probably has the Vox control, checking you in at 928. And that's SWL23 on the TubeSat, Mitch. I'm not going to talk too much because I don't know how much this is costing us. So to take another transmission, I'll relinquish the transmitter back to you on the tram. Sounding very good, and not sure if you're running the Vox or not. Go ahead and take a transmission and tell us more about it if you can. Over. Kicking up the TubeSat here tonight. I'm taking a long transmission, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, Dennis. Well, this does indeed have the Vox control, which does work on this radio. I'm also using an original G-stand D104 with a 10 DA head on it. So kind of a rare head on the G-stand. So quite a bit of good plate modulation here on AM. And the radio has just gone through a full restoration. So it's kind of in very good cosmetic and electrical condition. Over.
Okay, I'm resting my transmitter here for just a second. Good deal. I was resting the transmitter on this end for just a second. Very nice audio. Good signal. I'm looking at you on the receive scope, and boy, it's nice and clear. The peaks, the positive, negative peaks on frequency coming in, doing a good job. From the coast of California to Central California, the Tram D201, the refurb job sounds great. I wish we could hear it on 27085 direct for our SWLs there, but it's sounding good. I'm beaconing across all venues here tonight. So we'll go back to you for another transmission. Thanks for staying out here tonight on the TubeSat, and we will try this again. But we're actually hearing the radio off of the big receiver, synchronous orbit on the TubeSat tonight, the old Tube Radio Network. Back to 23 Skidoo on the Tram D201. Over.
Okay, Dennis, we'll try to keep it short since I know the meter's ticking. Just a final note for those who keep track of things. This radio has 15 tubes, 80 diodes, and a whopping 19 transistors in it, and actually has two separate transmitters and receivers built inside of it, one for AM and one for sideband. So a very unique radio, the last tube radio designed and manufactured by Tram, and certainly the pinnacle of their engineering technology. With that, I'll bid everybody 73, and thanks for the satellite check-in.
All right, it worked. There is the Tram D201. I was so excited about the transmission error, I forgot to put the radio up in the queue. The Tram D201, first generation, hand-wired, a classic, hard thing to get, and there are a lot of them that work and a lot of them that don't. Mitch has spent some time and great efforts and refurbing that one. As you can hear the audio, you are hearing the radio over the reception of the TubeSat, and he is out on the coast of California. So good job. I know a bit of a delay, but it worked great. The old Tube Radio Network, Radio 4, the Tram D201. Sounding good.
Number 7.
45.
All right, we've got 7. Step up into the air chair. Ed, you will be next, Radio 5 at 9:32. And Paul, don't go away. We will call you in moments to be Radio 6. So back to you in a moment, Paul, and over to Mr. Ed.
Hello, OTR, once again. This time, the Tram TR27E, 23-channel transmit and receive.
All right, back-to-back trams. This one we're hearing locally, 27085. No need to jump on the satellite, although if we did, the delay would probably be very confusing. And I'm looking for the TR27E logo here. Okay, it just popped up. I'll put it on the screen. Take a transmission.
There you go. Big radio, only one piece. 5x7 speaker. Nice big S meter. Can even see without glasses when you're old, which makes it real convenient. Yep, and that you got a picture of it up. That is the very radio on which I'm speaking, along with Electro Voice 638 microphone.
Good sounding audio. Sounds very natural. It's not over amplified. The quality is good. The microphone, of course, the microphone of choice for a lot of the Collins tube radio operators, and it works very well on this tram, which is from 1963. Obviously a hand-wired radio from Tram. Very green, looking good. Separate transmitter. There's Tram doing their same thing. Still is, the separate transmitter, separate receive, selectable. Crystal control transmit, I should say, and then a separate selectable receive. All in one box, doing good. The spot switches there, and the ginormous, as 47 would say, the ginormous meter. Take another transmission before we head on.
Thanks much for picking me up. At least had to get one green radio in for Chrissy. With that, we'll let it go.
She is out there. Dwayne and Chrissy are out there. Dwayne skipped in quickly with an SWL check-in, and he's sitting at the radio table in Idaho waiting for the channel to open up, and he's going to have a Browning for us if that happens. In fact, he'll have one this year if that happens. It's going to happen. Radio number 5, the Tram TR27E. Thanks, Ed. Over to Paul, Mr. Falcon in North Fork. Do we still have communications here to Old Tube Radio? Over.
Yeah. It's hanging in there. I wouldn't bet anything on it. This is my T-Craft Falcon Mark V radio phone.
Well, you've said a mouthful, and leave it to Paul to always make sure that we get something that our first-time viewers, our first-time listeners are going to take note. I'm hoping I can run the Rolodex here and find a shot of the T-Craft Falcon. All right, give me the model again. I think you said it was a Mark V radio phone. Over.
That's correct. T-Craft Falcon Mark V radio phone. You got it. That's not mine, but that's close enough. Back to you.
All right, let me bring the photo up. T-Craft Falcon Mark V. I don't have a lot of information on this. It says it was original price of $169.95, 1 or 5 crystal control channels and tunable receiver on the receive, and 1 or 5 crystal control channels only, crystal on the transmitter. You're going to run 6 volt, 12 volt DC, or 115 volt AC. Take another transmission. I like the way this radio sounds. Over.
Yeah. That's not my radio. It looks like it's saying mine is all crystal. That was VFO. That's a Model A, and mine's a Model D. Mine's all crystal, this thing. So it's got you can flip your crystals. In other words, get a receive on one crystal, get the transmit on the other by flipping these things in here. It's real neat. It's only 5 channels, 5 crystals in the whole machine. But it does a lot of things. I will talk to you about the TNS when I get back to you.
Okay, sure, it's good audio. Nice, clear, loud audio, reminiscent to me of something like the Regency Imperial, where it's got a good sound. I'll go put the S meter back up. It's also got some good forward movements. I'm not sure if this is a double-side band suppressed carrier or not. But here we go. Back to you for a transmission on the T-Craft Falcon Mark V radio phone. Over.
Yeah, okay. This does have a really good noise suppressor on this thing. I think it's the same, I'm not saying, I'm thinking. It's the same one that the Browning Mark 12 came almost out on the air before, well, the FCC wouldn't accept it. So, but I think the receiver on it was about the same as this one. Not saying for sure, but it does work real good. It's VFO for receive on the thing, and it's got a TNS, which twin noise squelch. So take it from there, back to you.
All right, from your operator side, you're doing a good job, and from the receive side, that could be a daily player. That could be a daily player on the radio. And tell me once again the microphonium that you are using. Over.
Okay, I'm using just a regular old Turner. It's a standard Turner. Let me check him just a minute. Okay, 350C. It's a standard Turner microphone, not made for this radio. Of course, this didn't come with a phone, radio phone, or anything like that. So I have to use everything I can get my hands on these old things, as you know. Back to you.
Well, the T-Craft Falcon Mark V radio phone really likes the match on that Turner 350C, so leave it the way it is. Radio number 6 tonight from Paul on the T-Craft Falcon. Doing a good job, and definitely enjoyed that one. Over.
Okay, good. Well, the light just went out on the thing, so it's just kind of falling apart slowly, but it's working all right. Thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
All right, I hate that. I have that sometimes. It just, it's just taking a break. Maybe you can tap on it gently on the case a little bit, and it might come back on. Thanks for that. The Old Tube Radio Network, and Dwayne he's listening in. He says it's quiet up there tonight from Idaho. I didn't listen to any 10-meter beacons, but gonna have to. It's the I think I can kind of thing. OTR standing by. And I have to keep opening my RF gain up as the band is getting quieter rather than noisier. And then there's noise, but it's a good type of noise. It's the sound. I don't even call it noise. It's the mellifluous sounds of an old tube radio. In number 7 spot tonight, Mr. Hustler. Hello, Joe. We've got you dialed in. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dennis. Doggone it, boy, our static level went up. I barely got a copy on you. I was hoping to hear a couple of those trams. They really sounded good. Dennis, I would like to check in my Johnson Messenger 223. If you've got a copy on me, this is a 10-tube radio with the original stock mic.
Stock microphonium, original radio, goes well tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network never turns down a chance to check in a radio that is pretty much the way it came out of the box. In this case, maybe in 1969 or 1970 or 1972. We're the proud owner of the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, a very top-of-the-line radio. I talked to many of those back in my early citizen band career, if you will. There's the full-screen photo of a very good design by E.F. Johnson. All 23 channels, S-meter, and a great transmitter along with a great receiver. Back to you.
Yes, thank you much, sir, Dennis. Doggone it, static level is rough, but it's kind of breaking up. You're coming in clear at times, and then at times, boy, you're swimming in it, for sure. But I'm glad to be on me, and I thought there for a minute Old Faithful was going to go out on me because I didn't have any sound when I first turned it on. I guess I'm going to have to spray my selector, the channel selector there. I touched it just a little bit, and boom, there you were. But anyway, I appreciate it. I'm gonna get out of here. The static level is really bad. I appreciate you letting me check in my Johnson Messenger 223.
All right, we're glad to check it in. That is the radio behind me tonight from a Cheerios kit. I think that channel selector. Yeah, I'm turning mine. Sometimes just if you turn it around a few times, and it's continuous, you just keep turning that thing around. It might clean it off. I'm doing that on mine. Yeah. Just turn that thing around a little bit slowly a couple of times. It might help it out. We hope. Radio number 7 tonight, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Thanks for putting it up on the table, giving it a shot. We do love the tube radios here on OTR. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
And Cornbread is suggesting a bit of moon bounce. I don't think we have a full moon tonight, but you'd have to get that azimuth elevation rotator on the antenna. Point those 6 elements up to the moon, and maybe the Starduster might hear it. OTR, we're standing by for Radio 8. And I'm going to increase the RF gain just a bit. All right, don't want to make it too noisy for the SWLs, but I'm going to make sure we hear everybody. Maybe all that smoke, I don't know. And hello, Chrissy. Chrissy is paging net control. I do hear you out there. Over. Yeah, Levon, I agree. Sometimes there were some radios that they just didn't. They made a lot of them, and they didn't make a bad one. And I agree with 23 Skidoo. If there's a way to do moon bounce, we'll find a way to do it on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me tell you, it has been a long week, but it feels good to be in the air chair here tonight. Right here on your friendly place to be, as the Jingle Singers will tell you about, the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
If I didn't say so, we're looking for Radio 8.
60.
You got me shuffling papers. Let me grab the pen and the Old Tube. Oh, no, I haven't even checked in tonight. Let me check in to the top of the Old Tube Radio Network page. This is August, is it 6th? Yeah. No, August 7th, 2021. Boy, how time flies. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, Dennis. We're going to give it a try because, boy, we have got some terrible static on this end. Dennis, I would like to check in this World Radio Labs Hustler. I'm not sure how many tubes it is. They could be from 8 to 9, according to what Harvey said, on a +3 microphone.
Okay, I have, again, and I apologize to you and the SWL. I have the radio should be the same look, although I think Harvey said yours is in much better condition, and it says the Rustler. So we will all imagine where there's that tag that says RUSTLAR, it says HUSTLAR, and there it is. A radio that, it sounds bigger than it looks. Go ahead.
Boy, yeah, that would be something if it was as big as it sounded. Yeah, it's not a very big radio. It almost reminds me of a little portable radio they carried around in the old days there with about 12D batteries. Not a very big radio, but doggone it, we think we got it set here pretty close as far as the settings go. I didn't move it too much after I got it from Harvey, but he did go through with it. I mean, he went through the radio with a fine-tooth comb there and gave me a refresh on everything that was in there. And doggone it, all we're doing is keying up and transmitting. I think it's warm enough. And it seems like everything is lit up. The meter is working. The modulation light doesn't exactly, well, it does blink, but it blinks really fast. And as far as the other settings go, well, there you go, Dennis. I don't know much more about them.
Not necessary to know all that much about them. And you're doing a good job on the transmit side. And it's funny. You started talking about. I just clicked back to the control room here. You started talking about blinking lights, and my lighting up above the desk here, up above the OTR stage in the air chair, if you will, started blinking, and then it went out. So as soon as you said blinking lights, everybody can see how dark it is in here. The light went out, but the radio is still sounding good from World Radio Labs. Over.
Well, we appreciate that. Doggone it, Harvey did do a good job on it. And when I do find possibly some information, I may go down here to, I know I've talked to the people here at the library about some books that I have to order that they don't have. And hopefully they'll come here someday here, and I'll know a little bit more about this Hustler radio. I saw this particular one on eBay, but Harvey, this is the one he snatched up. And then I saw another one that I have a picture of, and it very pretty radio, a pretty blue, with a pretty blue microphone, a handheld mic. But as for right now, we're going to leave this mic on and continue to run it the way it is, and we'll try to learn more about it.
Excellent. Yeah, don't change a thing on that World Radio Labs Hustler. Sounds good, and it is one rare radio. Maybe the only before World Radio sold out to Globe. It may be the only one that Leo and the gang sent out there. Good deal. You are radio number 8 tonight, and thanks for bringing it by.
Thanks for letting me check this one in, Dennis.
All right, thank you. And there is a breaking station that will definitely need me to go over to the SWL list. Go ahead, breaking station.
24, check it in.
All right, SWL 24. Hello, Joseph. We will get you checked in over on page 1, and you are sounding good tonight. Over.
Thank you. What time the thing's working?
It's got some audio. The Roger beep is beeping, and you are checked in. And my comments on the other page aren't working, so hopefully we can make them work before we sign out here. Looking for radio number 9 and maybe some DX. Aren't working, so hopefully we can. All right, and the conditions are back up. 128 saying John's saying he's looking for conditions that will allow coast-to-coast check-ins. I am too. Interesting to see what will happen on cycle 25 late night. 20 meters is open. I'm looking for some 10-meter AM as well. OTR standing by. The band is getting noisy now. We have to turn that RF gain back down. Even the light came back on. Thank you. But Charlie and Chet are holding up the old bulb. Okay, they replaced. Looks like they replaced. I thought. Wait a minute. I thought LED. I thought we had LED lights here. LED lights never go out.
Well, almost never. They do.
Yeah, tell me about it. I heard some, but I'm listening. Listen, is that Skip Land coming in? OTR standing by. Yeah, there are definitely some cheapo LED lights out there. Maybe I should say defective.
Yeah, I had one of. Oh, look, it lit up. It looks really nice, and then it went right out.
In fact, I am against my better judgment changing some fluorescent light fixtures that I hate in my kitchen to the LED bulbs. They are definitely brighter. I'm not sure I like the color temperature, the CSI, whatever it's called, but they are definitely brighter than the regular ones.
Yeah, I've gone to the LED with a few lights, and some of them are better, and some of them, First had to turn it on to see if it affected the radio.
You know, that's the first thing I did. I do have, in fact, I have to keep some lights off. I've got some spot or floodlights, LED floodlights that are great. You want the 90-watt floods, and when you want to keep them on all night, you want to run about, 12 or 13 watts. They're great, but man, they put a racket into the receiver here. I think they may be on the same circuit as the radio room, so I cannot have them on when I'm on OTR.
Yeah, so far, no offending noise.
And let's see, we were looking for Radio 9. You know, I turned down, let me turn up the crossband. I know we got some people that didn't get to check in tonight, so they might be out there crossbanding before we sign out tonight. And the jingle singers, sometimes they say this.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
You know, this would be a good time for Espresso Trucking Company to prime the pump. I just checked the transmitter. I don't think it can take another 5-minute transmission, so I may defer. It may be saved by the sound of the tube. And where it's later than you think. No, actually, it's quite early. Smarty Jones waving to all the old tube radio operators and shortwave listeners from New York. Hello, Smarty. OTR counting and amounting and listening for radio number 9.
60.
And I've got my pen at the ready. 60 in position number 9 at 9:58. Go ahead, over.
Thank you much, Dennis. Yeah, I'd like to check in my Robin T123B for Bravo. My modified version, this one here is capable of doing about 10 more extra channels. And this, I think, is 11 tubes on a Lollipop. That's my, it's a D104 powered.
D104, good combination on the Robin T123. I think we made a couple of people happy by checking in the Robin tonight. Those fans of Robins and those fans of green radios. And if you're both, this is a definite plus here. Radio 9, take a transmission.
Thank you much. Well, I'm telling you, that old static hasn't given up one lick. Yeah, one minute it's here, gone, and next minute it's back. I don't know. Maybe something's going on here in the neighborhood that I don't know about. I know it's too late for the warming up of the lights, street lights. I've never had this problem, especially on all 3 radios. So it's new to me. But anyway, yes, doggone it, on my pretty green radio here, I have a couple of features in the back for tune and load, also for meter adjustment. And I think there might be something else back there. Oh, I think it's part of the PA jack. Which I don't have the large adapter. I need to get one so I could try out the old PA system and watch the pretty light turn on and as well as the other lights. And also today it seems like my modulation light is blinking a little stronger.
Must have had its Wheaties this morning. We were talking about lights and things turning off. I was about to ask you if they all work. Those are, as far as I know, not LED lights, obviously, but might even be little neon inserts or incandescent with the jeweled fronts, but Sounds like they are all winking and blinking as they should. The radio is performing definitely as it should. Sounds great here at Old Tube Radio Net. Control for radio number 9. Back to you.
Thank you much, Dennis, for letting me check this one in. She's been properly warmed up. It has it has a little automatic standby there, so I can warm this one up, and get it good and warm. As to the other ones, well, it's a little hard, I gotta kind of manipulate, make sure that I'm going to turn this one on before that one, because I don't want to be, interfering and keying up on them. But anyway, thank you for letting me check this one in, and hey, we'll continue listening.
Yeah, maybe it'll have a few more surprises. It's got the extra channels and everything else. Maybe you'll find a switch in there that'll pump out some FM, as we were talking about, and as you've heard, opening up the FCC type acceptance to FM. Hopefully not a can of worms, but like you said, perhaps another way to have a radio net, AM, FM sideband tube radios. I don't think they ever. We certainly don't have any, as far as I know, out of the box, any tube FM radios. That's not a FCC type accepted mode of operations. That's not to say they're not out there, but may not be type accepted. Counting and amounting the Old Tube Radio Network, Radio 10. If we've got time, we're standing by. All right, last call for radio check-ins here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Is waiting for the jingle singers. They've got the orchestra ready. I guess they want to get off the stage there and head over to all the good festivities in the green room. We do stay open a little bit after the program, after the net here, for those that want to hang out, take a look at what's going on, whatever. The balcony is always open for a little bit. OTR standing by.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
Wow, they are loud. You all need to back away from the microphones. Boy, they were loud tonight. Saw the meter popping through there. All right, let's do some counting and the mounting, or as Steve SWL81 used to chant, totals. Give you the totals tonight, the Old Tube Radio Network. In the SWL department here, we had 15 on page 1, 15 on page 2, 14 on page 3, and 21 checking in on page 4 for a total of 65 tonight. Most heard manufacturer. And I do believe we had a tie between the general radio telephones at 2 and the trams at 2. We threw in some other interesting items of interest. Started off with the general radio telephone Super MC11A from Chris. Also, the general radio telephone MC5. That was our second radio, and that was from Paul tonight. Let's see, I'm losing my place here. Radio number 3, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, Mr. Ed on that one. Radio number 4, Mitch on the satellite check-in. Yes, indeed, you were hearing his actual radio over the air receiver on our uplink. On our downlink, his uplink. I'll get the satellite stuff down, and it was on his new refurbished Tram D201, the first generation with the hardwired in there. I'm going to listen to the playback of that. Just very, very nice sounding. I wish we could hear it beaconing on 27085. You might do that. When Jeff up on the hill might be able to pick that thing up from his location. He does on sideband, believe it or not. Radio number 5, the Tram TR27E. And that was from Mr. Ed at 9:32. 9:35, we heard Paul on the T-Craft Falcon Mark V radio phone. At 9:40 tonight, Radio 7, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. That was followed by also by Hustler, SWL60 on the Hustler, World Radio Labs Hustler. There's another one to listen back and to take a look at that very rare radio and realize it's 1960, 1959, sounding good here in the 21st century. Radio number 9 tonight, Joe on his Robin T123B. So all is well when it comes to tube radios over. And all is well when it comes to the old tube radio network. Saturday evenings, starting at 8 p.m. on 27085. Thanks for your participation, whether you are transmitting, listening, watching, the first time caller, or you had one of the license that weren't, I don't know, they were letters and numbers. Wasn't like KEO 8492. If you've been around a while watching the video, what is a like button? Don't even worry about the like button. If you can find it, give it a click. If not, we'll be back next week, and the button will be somewhere. 73, everybody, from the old, as Jim used to say, the old tired tube radio network. Over.
Thanks, Dennis, and thanks to Bozo Control.
As we used to say, Baker Oscar, Zulu Oscar. And we did get our far-out check-in. It wasn't, the conditions didn't come back tonight, but as always, Dwayne did a good job listening to see if the band is open. 20 meters. Heading over to the FTA. They never close down there. Yep, there they are. Let's see if the AM guys are on 75 before we sign off here. Don't hear even the East Coast guys.
I love my good friend Bozo. I've been looking all over the 20-meter band for him, and I didn't hear for them for a long time.
75 meters.
You know, George, sometimes I feel guilty because sometimes I think he disappeared because I was a little bit...
3898. 3889. I thought they were talking about Bozo there. All right, good night, everybody. Got the 75-meter radio in the background. And the Jingle Singers. Okay, they say they take requests. Somebody requested the Jingle Singers play one more time. I can keep the transmitter key for about 30 seconds. I wanted to do an ETC tonight, and I don't think the transmitter's going to stand up for another 3-minute transmission. So here we go. Good night, everybody. 73. We will see you next week. from your old tube radio network.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.